everyone. I welcome you all again to another session of chemistry. And I hope you all remember that last week we have already started with a new chapter. And I just hope that you might have revised the chapter before coming to the class. And you remember the name of the chapter, isn't it? What's the name of the chapter? Yes? The name of the chapter is Chemical Reactions and Equations. Very well. So let us quickly start without wasting much time. I'll start sharing my screen first. Just give me a minute. Okay, so I hope everybody is able to see my screen properly. Last week, the chapter which we started was Chemical Reactions and Equations, where the first thing which we learned was what is the need for studying this chapter. And we realized that we come across chemical reactions almost every day in our life, isn't it? So and that is why there is need to study this chapter, in which we studied what is called as word equation and what is called as chemical equation. Word equations as the representation of a chemical reaction with the help of words is called as word equation, and representation of chemical reaction with the help of chemical symbols or formulae is called as chemical equation. These were the two definitions which we learned last week. Apart from that, we also studied steps involved in writing a chemical equation. Before we go into the details, let's quickly revise what is this question. As I've been discussing, it's a very important thing. And you might have seen it in the textbook as well. In the textbook also, there's a 6-point answer, which is split up into different points. But just to remember the answer, a few key points I've mentioned here. Reactants are always written on the left-hand side. Products are always written on the right-hand side. In between the reactants and products, it is separated by an arrow. The third point, whenever we have two or more reactants or products, it is separated by a, what do we put here, students? Tell me, what do we put here? Whenever we have two or more reactants or products, it is separated by a plus sign. Fourth point, if there is any other condition required to carry out the reaction, we put the condition on the arrow. And the last point was, physical states of the reactants and products are mentioned to make the reaction more informative, isn't it? So these were the steps involved in writing a chemical reaction. Along with that, students, sometimes if we are using certain acids, the acids can be either in the form of concentrated or it can be in the form of dilute. So that also condition we have to mention at the base of the reactant and product. Till here, I remember we all have completed. Let us move ahead. Let us move ahead with the chapter. And if we have quickly revised, let us do a small MCQ type of a questionnaire based here. Let me see how many of you have revised the topic very well. See, the difficulty is that I'm pretty sure I'm not able to see you, but at least you can be true to yourself and try to answer these questions. Come on, let us try to answer these questions. As these are multiple choice questions, I'm also giving you options here. Okay, so let's start with the first question. Tell me, my dear students, what is the symbol we're going to use for heat? Come on, tell me. What is the symbol you're going to use for heat? Just a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, very good, very good. All of you are very active today. Very nice. Okay, so I think the question is clear to everyone. Let us quickly try to give the answers here. Symbol used for heat is the triangle here. Dash is not used in a chemical reaction. What am I going to not use in a chemical reaction? Come on, tell me. Do we use a plus sign? Yes. Do we use an arrow? Yes. Do we use an equals to sign? The answer is no. So that is the symbol because this is not used in a chemical reaction. Third question. Magnesium reacts with oxygen to form what? Oh, the answer has already come here. My bad. That is magnesium oxide. And now this might be a little tricky for you. Magnesium oxide is dashed in color. What is magnesium oxide? Magnesium oxide is white in color. Very good for those who are able to answer. Very well. Very nice. Okay, quickly. Come on, tell me. What will be the molecular formula of magnesium oxide? Molecular formula of magnesium oxide is going to be? Yes, it's going to be C again, which is MgO. Similarly, reactants are represented on. Where are we going to represent the reactants? Come on, tell me. Yes, reactants are represented on the left-hand side. Now, if you're thinking that it was a very simple quiz, ma'am, the answers were so easy. I was able to answer all the questions. Very good, my dear students, if you're able to answer all the questions. I'm not taking the test here to know how much you're by-hearted. I am taking the test here to understand that whether the concept is clear to you or not. That is why we are conducting this small MCQ. And if you're able to answer these questions, that means you're listening to me very carefully. So now let us quickly begin with our topic, which I told you, which I'm going to start today, is balancing chemical equations. For those students who are sleeping or are just having a relaxed mode out there, please sit upright because you will have to write today to do these reactions. Okay? So let's quickly start this. What are we going to start with? We're going to start balancing chemical equations. Balancing, students, is very important because without this, you will not be able to complete your chemical equation and you are not going to get full marks if you fail to balance the reaction. Even if you're writing the correct reactants and products, even if your reactant is correct, even if your product is correct, and if you fail to balance the chemical equation, you're not going to get full marks. So make sure you're balancing every chemical equation given to you, even if the teacher has not asked you to do so. If they just simply asked you to write the product, I would still request you to make sure that you balance every chemical equation which you're writing in your notebook or your answer sheet. And I'll show you what are the steps that we are going to do. But the first question is, why there is a need to balance the equations? Why am I supposed to balance chemical equations? Because according to law of conservation of mass, which we discussed last time as well, as per the law of conservation of mass, total mass of the reactants has to be equal to the total mass of the products. This was the law which we studied last year, given by Antoine Lavoisier, under the topic called as law of chemical combination, in which the first law we studied was law of conservation of mass, which stated that total mass of the reactants has to be equal to the total mass of the products. Let us see how this is happening. I have taken a chemical equation here. Can you tell me what is this type of equation called as? It is called as a, what is it called as? This equation I have represented only by using words. Only by using words, so it is called as a word equation. But can I do balancing with this word equation? Can I do that? No. So I need to write the chemical equation. And my chemical equation is, for zinc, I am writing Zn. For sulfuric acid, it is H2SO4. Zinc sulfate is ZnSO4. And hydrogen is H2. Looking at this equation, I've realized one thing which I told you to do last time. That was, I had asked you to by heart the valency chart and come, isn't it? I don't know how many of you have done it. For those who have done it, my dear students, I'm pretty sure you all will be able to write the chemical formulas very easily when I only give you the word equation. Okay, so I would request that even if you're not revising it every day, make sure before the chemistry lecture at least you sit with the valency chart and go through it and then sit for the class, so that your job becomes easier and chemistry becomes interesting. Okay, now the question here was, we're going to balance the chemical equation, and balancing we always start from left to right. We always start balancing from left to right. So this is the table here. As you can see, I've made a table here where I've written the element. I've written the number of atoms in reactants, that is on the left hand side. Number of atoms in products, that is on the right hand side. So let us start putting the elements one by one. I hope all of you are understanding this. Okay. Okay, let's write the elements here. The first one is zinc. How many zinc atoms do I see on the left hand side? It is 1. How many zinc atoms do I see on the right hand side? It is again 1. So on both the sides, the number is same. Come on, let's see the next element. That is my hydrogen. How many hydrogen do I have left hand side? Can you see the red color I've been showing to so that you understand that hydrogen element is how much? On hydrogen left hand side, I have 2. Similarly, number of atoms in the products, I have 2. Next element. Now you might be thinking that, ma'am, it is sulfate SO4 together. No. Remember, whenever you are balancing, you have to take every element as one single. You cannot combine 2 elements together, even if it's a radical. Now listen to me carefully. What am I trying to explain here? SO4, if you see in the valency chart, it's a radical of sulfate with charge negative and valency 2. Can you all see that? You can just refer to your valency chart right now. You all can see that there is sulfate, which is SO4 together. But when you are balancing, you are supposed to write every element as one single element. So I'm going to not take SO4 together. I'm going to take only sulfur. So sulfur, my dear students, on left hand side is 1, as well as on right hand side it is also 1. So that means both the numbers are same. Let's see what are we left with. We are left with the last element, which is oxygen. How many oxygen do I have on the left hand side? It is 4, and number of oxygen atoms on the right hand side is also 4. So what is it indicating? What is it indicating? It tells me that the number of atoms or in the reactants is equal to number of atoms in the products, isn't it? Aren't both the numbers same? Yes. Then is there any need to balance this equation? No. Such equations where number of atoms in the reactants is equal to the number of atoms in the products, it is a self-balanced reaction. What it is called as? A self-balanced reaction. So such reactions where already balancing is given, there is no need to balance the reaction, and they are called as self-balanced reaction. As the number of atoms of elements is the same, it is called as a balanced chemical equation. Now you might be thinking, ma'am, how is this example going to help us in balancing? Do not worry, I have got a great list of examples for balancing. It's very interesting and fun to do. So let us start. Now, first you will not go ahead. First you will listen to my steps one by one. I don't want anyone to write anything or to fiddle with anything or just keep your attention getting diverted here and there. I want everyone to strictly see the PowerPoint now. Okay, so what are we doing here? I have given you an equation which is Fe plus H2O. Sit upright, everyone. Fe plus H2O gives me Fe3O4 plus H2. So the first step we are going to do here is I am going to make a box around each formula. What did I do? I have made a box around each formula. Yes, Anusha, you're looking good. Very nice. So I have made a box around each of the formula. The reason is you are not allowed to change the formula while balancing. Otherwise, don't you think balancing would have been so simple? You just have to change the numbers here and there, isn't it? So you don't have to change anything which is present inside. You don't have to draw it in the exam. You don't have to draw the boxes in the exam. It is just for your understanding that mentally we are drawing a box around each reactant and product so that I am not allowed to change any number in between. I hope I am loud and clear to everyone. I am not allowed to change any formula in between. Next, if this is the first step, ma'am, what do? We are not going to change anything inside the box. The next step, you are supposed to make this table. If, my dear students, the question in the exam is for 3 marks. If balancing chemical equation is asked to you for 3 marks, you are expected to draw this table and then answer the question. It might be a possibility that in the exam, they might ask you a 3-mark question for balancing. At that time, you're expected to draw the boxes and then give the answer. If they're asking only a 1-mark question for balancing, you simply have to rewrite the equation and give the answer. Okay, first let us understand how are we going to go ahead with balancing. I know that majority of my students are already aware of balancing chemical equations, and you might be thinking that we already know this, why are you doing it? But students, now here, if the stepwise format is asked, you have to be clear with the steps. So make sure you're understanding the concept very clearly. So which are the elements here? Come on, everyone. I want everyone to be with me and say, what is the first element we are going to take? The first element is Fe, which is my iron. Fe. How many atoms in the reactants do I have for Fe? I am having only 1. And in the product, how many do I have? It is 3. Similarly, the next element. But before that, if I see a change in number here, if I am able to see a change in number here, number of atom in the reactant is 1, whereas in the product is 3. Can I make the number of atoms in the reactant 3? And this I can do by only multiplying. Again, a trick here. You're not supposed to add, subtract, or divide. You can only multiply the number. Now the question arises, ma'am, what is the meaning of multiplying? How am I going to multiply? See here, if you can see, I put here 3. This means that I have multiplied Fe with 3, which gives me the answer as 3 Fe atoms on the left hand side and 3 Fe atoms on the right hand side. Are you able to understand how are we doing balancing, my dear students? Yes, everyone. What did I do? Initially, Fe was only 1 on the left hand side and Fe was 3 on the right hand side. How did we balance? By multiplying it by 3. I've balanced it by multiplying it by 3. Now next element, hydrogen. Let's see how are we going to do with hydrogen. How many hydrogen do I have on the left hand side? It is 2. And right hand side, again it's 2. So is there any need to balance this? No. Hydrogen is already balanced because on the left hand side I have 2 and right hand side also I'm having 2. So let's move on to the next element. Which is the next element here? Oxygen. So what are we going to see for oxygen? How many oxygen do we have on the left hand side? I think you are able to understand when I say I am talking about left hand side and I'm talking about right hand side. On left hand side, the number of oxygen atoms I am having 1 and right hand side I am having 4. Now what are you going to do? Now how are you going to able to balance this? Come on, tell me. What can we do? Are you answering my question? Yes, for those who are saying we're going to multiply, very good. I am going to multiply it by 4. I'm going to multiply it by 4 on the left hand side. So now, if you see, we have already made a box. We have already made a box. So can I put this 4 in between hydrogen and oxygen? Can I put this 4 in between hydrogen and oxygen? No. That was the reason I had asked you to make a box. Because when we put a box, that means we can't put anything in between. So now the question arises, ma'am, where should we put the 4 then? If I want to make oxygen 4, how am I going to do it? It's very simple. Do not worry. This 4 we are going to put in front. But this 4 we had put to make oxygen 4. But because of that, the bajuwala got affected. Who's the bajuwala? Don't see your bajuwala. See in the equation. Oxygen ka kaun hai bajuwala? It is hydrogen. What is it? Hydrogen. Hydrogen was already 2. I have multiplied by it by 4. So 4 multiplied by 2 is how much now? 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. Because we were trying to multiply oxygen, my hydrogen got imbalanced. So hydrogen has now become 8. That is 4 multiplied by 2. So H on the left hand side has now become 8. So can you make H on the right hand side 8? Can you make? Tell me how many of you are able to do it. What are we going to do to make the number of hydrogen atoms in the product 8? Which is 2. What are you going to do? Yes, I can see a few students raising their hand. 2 multiplied by 4. Very well. So in the product side, I'm going to put 4 in front of H, which is making my hydrogen also balanced. Isn't it? So I hope it was very simple to and you're able to understand. Do not worry with all the boxes which are coming here. If you go stepwise, balancing is a very simple and the easiest task of chemistry. Okay, so here we are able to balance the chemical equation. Once balancing is done, your duty is to check the balancing once again. The best part of balancing equation is what, my dear students, it is that you yourself can check the answer. You yourself can check the answer and tell me. Let's see. How many Fe do I have on the left hand side? It is 3. How many Fe on the right hand side? Again 3. H on left hand side we have 8. H on right hand side also we have 8. Is there a question coming to my mind? Why did I get 8 and why not 6? Because I told you we are going to multiply the number. It should not be addition. It is multiplication. So 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. And oxygen on the left hand side. Now in front, whatever the number is there, oxygen has 4 in front. So we have oxygen 4 and in the product also oxygen 4. In this way, with the help of this table method, I was able to balance this chemical equation. And once you have completed, please make sure you write the physical states of reactants and products. So let us see what are the physical states of the reactants and products here quickly. Fe is the solid, water is the steam. If you're seeing कि water के नीचे G लिखा है, that is in the form of steam. And Fe3O4 is again a solid, and hydrogen is the gas which is given out. Okay. Now, few students might be thinking, ma'am, how do I come to know what are the physical states? Because I know that you're not been to the laboratory, you're not able to see how actually the substances are looking, you're not doing the experiments practically. So with practice only, you'll be able to understand. Then you practice a lot, you'll be getting the hang of all the equations. So do not worry. Okay. So this was balancing chemical equations. If all of you have understood, do you agree to solve a few more examples here? Do you agree to solve a few more examples? Oh, wow. Let's see how many of you are able to do balancing now. I'm giving you a few examples here. Now, when you are doing balancing, and if it is asked for only 1 mark, if only 1 mark question is asked to you for balancing, what are you supposed to do? Now, this is the question given to you. This is the question I am giving to you. You are supposed to balance this equation. Please, my dear students, after you write the question, rewrite the question again and then do balancing. First, you write this question, then again write the answer, write this equation, and then start balancing. And for balancing, remember, we always start from left to right. I think by the time I was giving instructions, majority of you would have already given the answer. Majority of you would have already finished with the answer, because I know this was the simplest of all, isn't it? Just let me wait for a few seconds more. Just want to make sure that everybody is able to do it, because everyone has to know balancing, otherwise you will not know chemistry. And do not worry, I'll repeat again and again. And for those students who have understood, don't feel that there's a lot of repetition happening. I want everyone to be through with the concept of balancing. Okay, so please cooperate. Okay, so I assume that by now everybody has finished, because that's what I can do. Otherwise in the class I would have made sure that I would have made you write it on the board. Okay, so let's check the number of atoms of magnesium and oxygen on the left hand side and right hand side. Number of magnesium atoms on left hand side, I have 1. Right hand side, I have 1. Oxygen on left hand side, I have 2. So to make that 2, I'm multiplying 2 in front of MgO, because of which the bajuwala gets affected, that is my magnesium. So again, to balance the bajuwala, we'll go on the left hand side and put 2 in front. Now I think we have finished with balancing. Has everyone got this answer? Has everyone got this answer? Yes, I'm pretty sure this was the easiest of all. Okay. Now quickly, let us move on to the next example, and let me see how fast are you able to do it. H2 plus Cl2 gives me HCl. Even though we are not able to see you, don't mentally balance the equation. Don't sleep and study. Please sit, write the equation, rewrite it again, and then balance it. I'm giving you 10 seconds time to quickly balance this equation. Please, everyone, do it. Do not sleep, and do not lose interest in switching on the video, switching off the video, how you're looking, that you can do it later on. Are you all done? Have you all got the answer? Okay, I assume that majority would you have gone. Oh, the answer's already come here. Okay, no problem. H on left hand side was 2, so right hand side I multiplied it by 2. Again, because of which the bajuwala got affected, which is already 2 on the left hand side. So don't do a mistake here by putting 2 again. In the left hand side, chlorine is already 2. You don't have to put 2 more. If you put 2 more, it will become 4. So that is again an error. Yes, I'm just trying to give you most the trickiest of all, so that it becomes easier for you to understand. H2 plus Cl2 gives me 2 HCl is the final answer. And if you all have got that, I think you all have got a hang of chemical equations very nicely. So let us move on to little difficult one. Shall we? Shall we do a little difficult, or you are just easy with easy ones? No, I think majority of you want to do the difficult one. Let's see. Okay. SO2 plus H2S gives me S plus H2O. Let me see how many of you are able to balance this. Come on, quickly. Are you able to do it? Is it easy or is it difficult? I think all of you are busy trying the examples, isn't it? Okay. For those who have already put in efforts and for those who already got the answer, for those who are still struggling, do not worry. Just pay attention here. I am going stepwise in balancing this equation. Okay. I'll move very slowly, stepwise while we are trying to balance this equation. Just make a note of it very nicely. First, we are going to start from left to right. We are going to start from left to right. Sulfur atoms on left hand side, how many do I have? If you're saying 1, then you're wrong, my dear students, because on the left hand side, I have 1 S here. Just a minute. Okay. S on the left hand side, I have 1 here. Plus in between this S also I have. So in the reactants, I have 2 sulfur atoms. So in the product, I'm going to write 2S. In the product, I'm going to write 2S. Now, once do we have any bajuwala next to S? No. Is there anyone who is getting affected? No. So let's move ahead again on the left hand side. The left hand side next element is O. O is how many on the left hand side? 2. So let's make O2 in the right hand side. Have you all done that? Have you all made O2 on the right hand side? Because you put 2 in front of the O, the bajuwala got affected. Who's the bajuwala here? Who's the bajuwala here? Hydrogen. How many hydrogen it has become? How many hydrogen it has become? 2 multiplied by 2, which is 4. So how are you going to make 4? How are you going to make 4 hydrogen? In the left hand side, again, I'm going to put 2. So by putting this 2, I am able to make H also 4 here. So is our balancing complete? Is our balancing complete? No. Because you put 2 here, again the bajuwala got affected. Who's the bajuwala here? Sulfur. How many sulfur is present in H2S? Answer my question. How many sulfur are present in H2S? It is 2. And in SO2 also I have one more sulfur. So 2 plus 1 has now become 3. So in the product, please make a note, students, that you're erasing that 2 and putting 3 again. Because of this S here and 2S here. This 2S plus this 1S. Total kitna ho gaya? 3. So in the product, you're going to put 3. Remove that 2 and put 3. Please make a correction. I think the 2 is coming here again. Please make a correction. The final answer is SO2 plus 2H2S gives me 3S plus 2H2O. I hope all of you understood. And for those students, I might assume that when your attention gets diverted, you might have lost the link in balancing this equation. So for them, I'm just revising it once again. Let us quickly see how are we balancing this equation. Please, dear students, take a note of it, this one. S on left hand side, I had 1. Plus in H2S, I had 1. So I put 2 here. Now, because it does not have any bajuwala, we again move on to the left hand side and see the next element, which is oxygen. Oxygen on left hand side is 2 and right hand side it is 1. To make that oxygen 1, again I multiply by 2. Because you made this oxygen 2, hydrogen got affected, it became 4. So to make this H4, on the reactant side, we are again multiplying by 2. Now because this hydrogen became 4, sulfur became 2 plus one more S which is present here. So 2 plus 1 has now become 3. So in the product, please make the necessary changes. The 2 has gone and it should come 3. The error here is the 2 is coming again. It should be 3. So my dear students, the final answer for this balancing is SO2 plus 2H2S gives me 3S plus 2H2O. If still there are certain students who are still finding it difficult, do not worry. Write the question again and try to practice. Balancing will come only if you practice it regularly. Then only you'll be able to balance the equation. And if you're still feeling that you're not able to understand, let us try to do this another example, which is a simpler one. KClO3 gives me KCl plus O2. KClO3 gives me KCl plus O2. Come on, quickly tell me how many of you are able to do this. Let's see. Let me see how many of you are able to do the balancing. The examples which I'm giving you, if you're able to balance all these examples, you are through with the balancing. Any equation being given to you in the exam, you'll be able to do it very easily. Do not worry. Let's see how many of you are able to balance this. Have you put in efforts? Shall I give you the answer? Just raise your hand and let me know that yes, ma'am, we have done. Okay, okay. So I see students raising their hands. Thank you so much. Okay, a lot of students are doing it. That means you're doing it. Very good. Very good for those who are able to do it. My answer is coming here. Let's see. So KClO3. To balance this, my dear students, what are we going to do? Just a minute. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So now we see here the K on left hand side. The K on left hand side. This is the equation which we had. K on left hand side is 1, K on right hand side is 1, Cl on left hand side is 1, Cl on right hand side is 1. But O on left hand side is 3 and O on right hand side is 2. So whenever you come across such odd and even number, it is very difficult to make 3, 2 and 2, 3. So when you come across such situation, remember to take the LCM or simply multiply it by 2. Simply multiply it by 2. So you'll easily be able to get the answer. So to make this here, I am multiplying here by 2 in front of KCl, because of which the K got affected. And I'm in the product again going to put the 2 here. Again, the Bajuwala got affected, which is Cl, and Cl is already 2. So what are we left with? The oxygen on left hand side, because of multiplying by 2, has become 6. So how are you going to make this O6 in the product? In the product, simply multiply by 3 and you will get the answer. I hope all the students have got this answer, as it was a very simple one. Yes, 2 KClO3 gives me 2 KClO3 gives me 2 KCl plus 3 O2. Okay. Now the next one. Come on. This is a very simple one. Within fraction of seconds, you'll be able to get it. Come on, quickly answer this. Zn plus HCl gives me ZnCl2 plus H2. Are you through with this? This was the most easiest one. And in the previous question, if sometimes you get stuck, remember odd ko even banao. That is the most easier answer to say. Whenever you come across an odd even concept, remember odd ko even banao. Odd ko even banane ke liye multiply by 2. That should be your motto. Okay. So zinc on left hand side I have 1. On right hand side it is 1. H on left hand side is 1. On right hand side is 2. So how do I multiply? On the left hand side I'm going to multiply by 2. Again the baju wala gets affected, which is already 2 in the products. So this was just a simple question where you just had to point 2 in front. Now the last one for the day. Come on, let me see. How many of you can do this? Apart from balancing, if you intelligent students who are thinking what is this upward arrow and downward arrow, for those students, if you remember, we were talking about the physical states, where upward arrow means the gas is liberated and downward arrow means it's a precipitate. Okay, upward arrow means the gas is liberated and downward arrow means it's a precipitate. So these are the physical states which I have mentioned here. Do not panic with the physical states, because they are not going to cause you any hindrance in balancing. They are not affecting us irrespective of the physical state. It should not affect your balancing. Okay. So how many K do I have on left hand side? Let's try to balance this equation. Now here the question is, do not get confused. Now for students who are strictly not following my instructions, first try to understand which are the symbols. There's potassium, iodine and chlorine. It's not Ci, it's Cl, which is chlorine together. Now here that is the confusion which you might have caused through difficulty in solving the answer. Potassium on left hand side is 1. Potassium on right hand side is 1. Iodine, which is I, on left hand side is 1. Right hand side it is 2. So how are you going to balance this? Let us multiply this by 2. Because I put 2 in front of Ki, the bajuwala potassium got affected. So K has now become 2. So our immediate next step is to make this K2 in the right hand side. So when I put 2 in front of K, again the bajuwala, which is Cl, got affected. Cl has become 2, but Cl is already 2 in the left hand side. So is my equation balanced here? Is my equation balanced here? Let's quickly check left hand side, right hand side. 2K, 2K, 2I, 2I, and Cl is also 2 on both the sides. So with this, we understand how to balance the chemical equation. I hope everybody is able to do the balancing very well. Okay. Do not panic. Do not panic if you're not able to understand or few questions you are not able to solve. Do not worry at all. Next lecture, when I'll be doing with the types of chemical reactions, when I'll be moving ahead with the next topic, which is my types of chemical reactions, we'll come across a lot of reactions, so that in every equation we practice balancing. But that doesn't mean you'll only wait for me to do it. I want you all to do balancing. Okay. So we finish with our today's lecture and the homework. And the homework for today is, please read the textbook till here, till balancing chemical equations. I want everyone to read the textbook. Such homework, if you're feeling that we don't have to show it to anyone, we are not going to do it, then it will cause difficulty when I'm moving ahead with the chapter. Okay. So as we were talking about balancing, just a quick recap. When you're doing balancing, drawing of boxes is important when it's a 3-mark question. When it's a 1-mark question, you don't have to draw any boxes. You simply have to give the answers like I showed you in the previous slides. Okay. Do not draw the box if it's only a 1-mark question. I have answered the question whether you have to draw the you have to draw or not. Okay. So the homework was, read the textbook till balancing chemical equations so that you get the answer of steps involved in writing a chemical equation and how to do balancing with the help of boxes. Yes, do not worry. Bye for now.